All right, everybody, this is the document formatting assignment, and we are going to learn how to use the drop down menus and the toolbar in Google Documents, as well as some keyboard shortcuts so that we can format a Google document. Formatting means we are going to change the way the document looks. We have to do these 10 things to the document that has been on this checklist, and these are in our week 4 and week 5, our week 3 and week 4 slideshows.
So here is our document. It is an online safety article, and you can see the paragraphs and anything fancy is done. Let's go ahead and highlight everything so we can change the font size, but clicking and dragging takes too long. I'm going to use a keyboard shortcut. Hold the control key down, tap A. Everything is highlighted. Now you can see up in the toolbar there, right there, you've got click it. You can also see the drop-down menu, and it is the fonts are right next to it right there. And the instructions in our checklist are change the font and change the font size to 12. So we're just going to choose a different font, and then if we go up and we do the same thing, press Control A to select everything, and then right there is the font size. We can select 12 from the menu. There we go. That's the first 2 things off your checklist. The next thing that we are going to do is select all the text again, and we are going to add a space after paragraphs. Now we could do that by hand, but if we use a tool in the toolbar, the line and spacing tool, then it's going to make it a lot easier. We're just going to add space after paragraph. And the Google Doc is going to remember every time the author pressed the Enter key to skip a line, and it's going to add a paragraph. You can see now the entire document has put a space after each place the author put use the Enter key to go to the next line. The next thing we're going to do is add a header. You can see if I double click in the empty space at top, it opens a header. We're going to move the title, Online Safety, to the header. We're going to check different first page so the title's only on the first page. We're going to Control X or use the right click and cut. This is going to remove the text. We're going to double click in the header, Control V or right click and select Paste. There it is. We've now moved it to the header, which is a separate section of the document. I'm going to make it bold, and the instructions do say make it 24-point type. And I'm going to change the font to something fun. There we go. You know what? That looks too thick when it's bold. I'm going to undo that. There. Online Safety now is my title, and it's in the header. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to move the source information to the footer. Your document has a header. The bottom of it, if you double click, you can also see the footer. Now, the source information is at the end of the document, and each of these pages has a footer. So what we're going to do is go grab that source information, that citation, if you will, and we're going to move it to that section at the bottom of each page. We're going to Control X. That is, hold the control key, tap X, and now we're going to double click in that margin, and we're going to Control V to paste. V is in Valentine. And you can see now that it is in that footer space at the bottom. And so that a reader doesn't get confused, I'm going to change the size, and I'm going to change the font, and I'm just going to go ahead and remove that spacing so it looks different, so it's obvious that this is just a citation and not part of the paragraph above. There it is. I have got my source information put in the footer. And because I put it in not the first page, and I didn't check the box that says make it different, it'll be in every page but the front. Now you can see that there are some little strings of text that are not part of a paragraph. In fact, most of them don't even have punctuation. These are the section headers. And what I'm going to do is highlight these according to the instructions. And it says make them bold, make them 14 point, and change the font. So that's what I'm going to do to each of those headers. There it is. And I'm just going to do the same thing to all of them. You can also see that Google Docs will keep your most recently used font at the top of its list. I can also make headers by using the where it says normal text. There's a menu, and you can set certain kinds of text as headers, but you don't have as many formatting options when you do that. That's why I'm doing it the old labor-intensive way. There, oh, forgot one. There it is. Now, you can see we've gone through step number 5. Step number 6. We've got all of our headers made bold and a different font. Now, the next thing on our checklist is to insert an image. We are going to go to the Insert menu, select Image, and choose Search the Web. When we do that, we'll see a sidebar open up on the right, and we're just going to search the title of the document, Online Safety. Again, it said a relevant image in the checklist, so this will be relevant what shows up. We're just going to scroll down and choose one and then drag it over to our document. This way we don't need to open a tab or even leave our document. Using the Insert menu, we can search right there. If we click on the image, which you'll notice is very big and taking up the entire space, the checklist says wrap the text, put the image on the left and wrap the text. And you can see my image is stuck. It is breaking the lines of the paragraph, and it is stuck right in the middle, in between a word. If we select the wrap text icon, you can see below the image, I went from the left icon and now it's blue highlighted the wrap text. You can see the text is wrapping around it, and you'll also notice I can freely move the image up, down, left, right when it's in the wrap text mode. So now you can see I have an image on the left and the text is wrapping around the right. The next thing is to go to the last paragraph, and you will notice that all the text is aligned on the left, a straight line down the left. You can fix that by going to the alignment tool, and the last paragraph, align it to the right, just like you saw. We have 2 more things to do to our document, and what we'll do next is add a table after the 4th paragraph. So you can see I counted down, and I'm going to click next to Online, hit Return, add a space, and use the Insert menu to do a 2x2 table. You can see that 2x2 appeared at the bottom of that little menu that opened, and now I can click and drag and highlight my table, and I can then format all 4 of those table cells at once. You'll also notice the tools on the right of the toolbar appeared. For instance, I can make thicker lines with a line tool. I've got a paint bucket for coloring. I'm going to make my text centered with the alignment tool, and I'm going to change the font, which is what the checklist says to do, change the size of my text in the table. I'm going to make it 14 point. And then I'm going to just type in 4 words. Any 4 school-appropriate words will do, 1 in each. I'm just going to do animals, and if I use the tab key, it will let me jump between table cells without even clicking. So there are my 4 words. Now, again, when I'm clicked in the table, I'm going to make them bold so they stand out a little better. When I'm in the table, I do have those tools like the paint bucket. And so what I am going to make them appear, and I'm going to fill each cell a different color. There's yellow, and there is blue, so on and so forth. Each cell gets a different color in my table. And once you've got that done, you've added the table part of this requirement. I'm sorry, the table requirement for this assignment. The last thing that we're going to do is erase or eliminate the formatting in paragraph number 6. I count down to number 6. I'm going to highlight that paragraph. And then I'm going to go to the toolbar and find the T with a slash through it. And if I click that, it just takes away all the formatting changes I've done. It changed the font and the font size back to the original, took away the space after the paragraph. This is very handy if you need to undo a whole bunch of formatting at once. Now you can see I've completed the assignment. I have all 10 of these changes made. Now I can turn it into Canvas.